Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's Dave coming to you from the backyard of paradise here at the Wyoming house. It's Saturday. It's about 10 afternoon here in Wyoming. It's 75 degrees, slight breeze, no humidity. I almost feel like I'm rubbing it in when I say that stuff. But anyway, thought I'd sit out here, kind of have a rare noon cigar. I'm not going to go into the work gulag today, the tree gulag. I'm going to take the day off. I'm smoking a Davidoff. Let's see if I can do this right. A Davidoff Maduro. Wonderful stick, but unfortunately, like many that I smoke now, it's unobtainium. They don't even know when they're going to make them again. But it's a wonderful smoke. Sorry to be the dick that always smokes the unobtainium shit, right? Anyway, just happy Saturday to everybody. So I thought I'd give you a quick update on the yard update on the tree project, as we call it. But I've been pretty absent for a couple of weeks now, and the reason is I've had guests. 2 weeks ago, I had my son and three of his friends here for 3 days, and then a week ago, my wife flew in. Anne Marie came in and spent 8 days here. She flew out this Monday, so I've been back on my own now for about 5 days. I'm just trying to catch up from being more guest oriented than work oriented. So that's kind of where I've been. In a week from today, my son comes back with two more friends. Then is going to stay here 2 weeks. And then he and my daughter are flying off to Japan. So I'm going to have Ranger probably for 6 weeks here. So that'll be kind of fun. So anyway, next Saturday things get a little hectic again, but the next 6-7 days should be good and productive. Looks like we got a little bit of weather coming in at us this Saturday. Looks like the afternoon might get a little rainy up here. The weather comes straight at us from the Grand Tetons. Literally straight up this creek, right up the pipe. So you can see it's beautiful here and getting cloudy down there and actually getting gray down by the mountains. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a quick update on the property here. I'm pretty happy the way it's come along. About 2/3 or 3/4 of the property is pretty much done. Of course, I've got to pick up all the piles, but getting close to the end of the saw season. So, a saw job. So probably maybe this week and maybe next week, and then the saw will be done, and then we'll switch to pile pickup, see where we get. And then I got to switch to going way out there and cleaning up the stuff I cut down for the view. So anyway, that's what it kind of looks like, but here's a couple videos of what the property looks like now. So we're sitting on the creek bed on that memorial bench. You can see the house here. You got the two guys are here. It's dug up on the deck. His helper down here on the bottom. And the house is probably 75-80% done at this point. But anyway, from the back of the bench, this is what it looks like. All right, guys, it is Saturday, like the 16th of August. And just to show you the current status, this side of the property is largely done. I've gotten it cleared all the way to the creek, which is really nice. I need to get out there and clean up the dead trees from last year. But pretty much from the house all the way across here, all the way past the guest house, and in fact all the way to over there, way over there is done. So that's what I'll be attacking next. I've done 1 day of work out there, but been busy the last couple of weeks. This is probably the area I'm most proud of. This is that huge rat snarl that had fallen. It's all in these piles now, but this is all cleaned up. The trees that had gotten blown over, the snag got cut down. The blowovers got cut off and cleaned up. This little pond on the drainage creek is pretty much all cleaned off. I'm really happy happy with how clean this turned out. Great view from the house through here now. So you can see all the way down to the creek. That was the goal. This is our pond, drains out through this creek. It comes out over there, goes up, does a U-turn, and comes back down here. You can see I've got one tree that I cut that fell into it, so I got to get the truck out. We'll drag that out of there and get it cut up. But it's looking good, and if I just turn around, I'm standing on a little bridge over the creek. This is the other side. This was all a mess too. There's the snag area I was telling you about, but this is all cleaned up. You can see it. It's beautiful. I love it down here now. And we're walking out to the creek. So the next thing's my boat. Good news is it's back. It's fixed. It's 100% ready. It's essentially a brand new boat. It's got 40 hours on it. It's a 2013, but the guy never used it. So anyway, they've gone over it. The boat shop went over it end to end. Got everything fixed. Everything runs. It runs perfectly. So tried to do a sea trial last week with Anne Marie here, but the wind was blowing 30 miles an hour onshore from the lake, and that just wasn't the kind of thing I wanted to go out in. And then Anne Marie's not much for driving the boat or the truck, so I'm gonna wait. And when the son gets out here next week, I'll probably do a sea trial with him. But it's 100%. Here's a quick video of how it looks now. All right, the boat is back. It's 100% repaired, ready for use. It was nice. Went over to Idaho Falls on, gosh, it was late last week. But she is seriously totally ready to go, ready for her sea trials. I even got my Grand Teton National Park license. It's $90 a year. And I showed this to you before, but I have my Wyoming registration. It's like another 75 or 80 bucks a year. They just take it to you to keep these things registered and licensed and usable. That doesn't even count fishing licenses. But anyway, hopefully in the next week, we'll get out on our initial voyage with us. All right, this wouldn't be a day video if I didn't put Sasha in it. So here's some gratuitous dog video of Sasha out running the creek bed, chasing the sandpipers, doing what she does. It's her favorite thing. So here's a couple minutes of Sasha running around this morning. All right, we're standing on the edge of the property line right on the creek bed. What I wanted to show you is looking back. I got all this stuff cleaned up. All this stuff has been cut down, thinned out. You can kind of see how clean it is now from the house all the way to the creek. So it just really added a really nice viewpoint for us so that we can see all the way to the creek. That way we can see things that are wildlife, like this wild dog here walking on the creek. We can actually see it from the house now, which is pretty nice. Sasha's having some fun down there in the drying up creek lace items. This is her favorite thing to do. There she goes, a little more Sasha joy. I'm gonna be heading for the creek. Anyway, she's pretty happy. So here's another weird thing I want to show you. Is the creek now is just right here. It's the normal creek bed. In May, during runoff, all of this is underwater. It's pretty intimidating, flowing pretty hard, color of chocolate milk. So we didn't walk down here at all in May, but now the water's receded. In fact, we're starting to get the creek is starting to slow down and get low. It'll spend the rest of till it freezes over. It'll continue to get slower and lower as the water supply starts to trickle out. That's just looking down the creek bed straight at the Tetons. Well, here you can see she's actually run all the way across the creek. She likes to pursue her sandpipers when she does that. was hoping to catch her running back across. There she goes. That's a happy beast. And there's the girl. This is where the pond flows out. She loves jumping in here, but it's pretty messy. So I'm updating you on my duck family that's been living in the pond. Well, we're down to 1 duck now. There was a mama and 5 babies. All the babies grew up. Mama and 4 of the babies have left. And I've got 1 left. I'll show you a quick video of the one that's left. Sometimes at night, 3 or 4 will come back and they spend the night. Like maybe family time, duck family time in the pond. But last time they come back when it's too dark for me to count, and they're gone before it's light enough for me to count in the morning. So, but in the shadowy evenings, I've counted 4 or 5 out there a couple nights. So anyway, here's the one that's still left. So let's see, property update, visitor update, Sasha update, project update, duck update. Now we're into the wildlife section. So again, this year, summer 2025 is one of the lowest wildlife sightings I've ever seen. And it's the talk of the town still. I haven't seen a moose on my property this year. I've seen 1 elk on my property this year. So things are quite low, but I got a really good video of the coyote that keeps coming around. So here's a video of the coyote that's, I'm gonna have to name him pretty soon. He's really well camouflaged. When Sean was here with his 3 friends, he took them all up to Yellowstone National Park. I mean, it's only 20 miles from the house, so it's pretty convenient. But anyway, he got a nice shot of a cute little black bear, so I wanted to show you that. And yeah, so anyway, this is Sean's. This is not mine. This is Sean's quick video of a cute little black bear that he caught up in Yellowstone a couple weeks ago.
Parks.
Alright, so we have several videos coming up now that aren't mine. They came from my buddy Jake. He's a good friend of mine. He became friends with me at the lounge, and then turns out he and his wife just live up here at Jackson Lake Lodge, so they live really close. So anyway, we've become pretty decent friends over the last couple of years. So anyway, Jake sent me this amazing video of a black bear playing. I'd never seen such a thing. All right, this next series of videos also came from my buddy Jake. He personally recorded these videos while he was fly fishing on one of the local streams. It's what it looks like to have a wolf pack find you, identify you, and decide you're not scary and that maybe you should be dinner. And it's kind of a series of 3 or 4 videos of this wolf pack kind of following Jake down the river. Pretty crazy. And it's a good reminder that we are not the apex predators out here unless you're carrying a sidearm. So anyway, here's a couple minutes of a wolf pack following my buddy down the river.
trust, it's fun, you're fucking the
So you can see the weather starting to come in on us. Right now, it couldn't be more perfect where I'm sitting, but I can tell it's the breeze is starting to pick up. Pretty soon it's going to turn into a wind. We have the 11 o'clock breeze, the 12 o'clock wind, and then lots of times from 2 to 3 we get real wind, 40, 50 miles an hour. But it definitely blows in storms and is coming, like I said, right up the pipe at us. So anyway, it's pretty amazing. Guys, that kind of ends the Wyoming update. Yeah, the log project is going great. The project out here to get the property well managed is going well. I'm a little tired of it. It's been 10 weeks and I've gotten spotty. I've only worked, between my guests being here and me being sick of it, I've only worked it 2 days this week. And I should have worked it today, but I just didn't have it in me. I'm kind of sick of it. So, I have allowed us to be the last couple of days, so I'll get back on it tomorrow. But anyway, there are a couple things I do want to talk to you about. So anyway, enough with the Wyoming update, enough with the Wyoming boy, and let's have a conversation about a couple things. First of all, got my first Wyoming haircut yesterday. It had been 4 months since I got a haircut. I like it high off the ears. I like it high off the neck. Guy did a pretty good job for my first cut. I haven't gone to a new barber in 35 years. I've gone to the same guy. So anyway, I'll be Whiskey Barber, downtown Jackson, by the way. I'll be using him when I'm here, and I'll be using my Vietnamese guy, Paul Fung, when I'm in Maryland. He's the guy I've been going to for 35 years. But anyway, the haircut, I got the haircut yesterday. And your guys' videos over the last year, and then Mark's video last night kind of made me want to talk about this subject. I might trip an offensometer here or there with this, but I just thought I'm gonna title this video "Give a Shit," because I've seen over the last year, I've been around our community now for almost 3 years. Been making videos for almost 2 years, but I've noticed a real change in our content in the last year, and it's heading, more and more people are either doing full content or partial of the part of their videos are, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about being in shape anymore. I don't give a shit about eating right anymore. I don't give a shit about how I look anymore. I don't give a shit about my hair. I don't give a shit about being clean shaven or keeping my beard trimmed up anymore. I don't give a shit about if the clothes I wear look good or not. I don't give a shit if everyone's offended around me. Anyway, I just sense that's becoming more and more of a trend. I think the more content that's put out like that, it causes other people to go, yeah, me too. I don't give a shit about this or that. And I consider that a dangerous mindset. There's a fine line. A lot of us say things like, I don't give a shit if the world doesn't like me. I don't give a shit if my family thinks I'm an asshole. I don't really care if my friends drift away. Didn't really need them anyway. There's a fine line between that and being the person you want to be and portraying yourself in a way that we want to portray ourselves and not always being worried about what other people think. I certainly understand that side of the argument. I think sometimes we take it too far and just go, hey, I am who I am, and if you don't like me, kind of go after yourself. And if we want to live a solitary life, that's fine, but if you're out there looking for a date or for friends, or you're trying to increase, like I like to increase my circle of influence, my circle of friends, however you want to say it, which doesn't mean I'll behave any way anyone needs me to be a friend. That's not what I'm saying at all. But But if we say things like, no woman's going to change how I dress, no woman's going to change how I take care of myself. if you're if you're angry, grumpy, fat, kind of lazy, guess what you're going to attract, for either as a woman or as friends. Those, what we put out is largely what we attract. So I just would suggest we need to be careful what we put out in the world and how we put it out in the world, because it will change what we attract back to us. Often I say the world is a mirror holding itself back up to me. And if the world's being shitty and angry and grumpy and nothing, all negative, not much positive, I really have to sit down and say, wow, if the whole world is showing that to me, it's really a reflection of how I'm being out in the world. So I just wanted to kind of throw a couple of those thoughts out there that, in my opinion, we should give a shit about how we look. We should give a shit about how we eat and what kind of physical condition we're in. I've even heard some of you guys say you're done doing your medical shit, you're done doing your rehab shit because you just don't like her, you don't think it's working, so you just gave up on it. And I just think that's a slippery slope. That's a dangerous opinion. Once you step on that slope about I don't give a shit about X, it's very, very easy to start saying I don't give a shit about anything. And life can get pretty rough on us if we stop caring about really any aspect of our lives. So anyway, I just want to kind of go down that road a little bit. Now, I fully realize, but I want to say it out loud, that this is coming from a man wearing a t-shirt that I work out on the property, and every day I beat the crap out of it. I didn't step up to improve how I look for the video, and I very rarely do. I'm also a man coming to you from 35 miles from anywhere. The tiny little town Jackson is 35 miles away, so I kind of physically embody that man alone, sole survivor kind of thing. And especially this year, I'll spend probably 8-9 months of this year out here, and that means a lot more alone time. Now I make a habit. I do care about having friends, and I've talked about that on this channel quite a bit, about what the cigar lounge has afforded me and how it's changed me over the last couple of years to get down there. It's a pain in the ass to drive an hour each way, but I do it just to physically be there. I had a great. I'm still golfing once a week. I skipped the week my wife was here, but I golfed on Thursday 2 days ago. And it's really kind of cool. I knocked off 13 strokes off my score over the last few weeks. If I can do that one more time, I'll actually be pretty happy with my game. So anyway, I do realize I'm sitting here in a work t-shirt and sitting out here in the middle of nowhere advising people on how to maybe be more attractive to the world. I don't think I'll go down this road too much further. I'll just say, just beware when you hear your brain or your mouth saying, I don't give a shit. Just make sure is that really true? I mean, is that healthy for you? Is it healthy for me to be saying that kind of stuff? We all have bad days. We all have bad hours. We all have bad weeks. And so I understand how that can, after a really bad day or a really bad week, I don't give a shit about this stuff anymore. My advice, should you wish to listen to unsolicited advice, would be just be aware when you're saying that. Is that really true, or is it just a bad moment? And if it's really part of your psyche that I just don't give a shit about anything, to really think through that, because I don't understand why people, men and women, do this. I know a lot of women that get older, especially I'm 61, so there's a lot of 61-year-old women out there that have given up. I don't care. I don't need a man. I don't need to please men. They quit dyeing color in the hair. They quit getting their hair done. They quit doing makeup. They stop really caring about how they look when they dress. And then they say, well, I can't attract a man, or, men are fickle and always go for good looking women, or whatever you say there. But they choose to go down the path of kind of checking out from that world and then being angry. And men do the same thing. I mean, God, David Letterman is probably my greatest example. John Daly's probably another example. Just totally gave up on how they look. And I don't know. It's just it's not a healthy thing, but a lot of people do it. And I think just aging, as we age, it's kind of natural to get into that. And I would just suggest it's a good idea to fight that as much as we can, actually care about how we look, how we are doing physically, how we look physically, how we dress, how do we present ourselves to the world. I think, although that should not rule our world, it also shouldn't be something that we completely choose to ignore in our lives. All right, guys, that's enough for the video. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate hanging out with me. And yeah, this is Reese long enough, so I'll just say goodbye for now. Hope you have a great Saturday. Hope you got a good Sunday out in front of you. Hopefully next week's looking good for you guys. And that's really it. We will talk to you on the next video. Bye, everybody.